我哋眨下眼又第5天啦，嗬。With a what do you say flicker of moment, it's already day 5。好，我哋考試啦。So now with testing, okay? No checking on your notes. Okay. First, 10如是，邊10個如是？第一個如是係如是 first one. Now I'm going to ask the 10 suchness, okay? So the first one is 如是 characteristics, okay? Second one 如是性 nature. Did you answer correctly? Okay. 第3個如是 embodiment, good. 第4個如是力 power, potential, remember. 第5個如是 actions. 第6個第7個 conditions。第8第9如是咩話 rewards and retribution。第10 say that again. Complete fundamental coherence. Good. 好叻喎，係咪返屋企有讀書啊？知道我今日一定考試。You know that I'm going to test you? Did you go back and study or it just comes naturally? 實在呢個我覺得佢係好邏輯嘅，好邏輯嘅。如果你真係知道人嘅結構啊，人嘅存在究竟係身同埋心嘅話咧，你知道係身同心嘅啫。咁你知道1就一定有腎先啊，2後就做點啊？就到心啦。咁心做乜嘢咧？心係做作嘛嚇，佢有力先可以做作嘛，係咪啊？有力先有做作，有咗做作就點會啊？嚇，點解會有做作啊？因為有咁嘅因啊嘛。點解會有咁嘅因之後會有個緣先會有個果出嚟？有個果就一定有個報啦，嚇有個報。咁你個因你個本末本即係由開始到末即係最尾嗰個第9如是，佢全部係一個點啊？一個大嘅關係嚟嘅。So it's a very logical. You really don't need to study for it. It's very logical because you know what's the human being is made up of is the body and mind. So it's the form and the mind. So there is a form, there will be what? There will be some power, right? There will be form, then there will the characteristics, then there will be this power. Then with this power, then you start to take actions. When you take actions, then there will be a cause for those actions. And with these actions complemented by all these conditions, there will come a cause, there will come an effect. With the effect, there will come a reward and retribution. Mind you, effect and retribution is completely different thing. 一個果同報係兩樣事嚟㗎。OK， 嗱果就係嗱，你而家生為人啊，你而家生為人係果嚟嘅。報係乜嘢啊？報就係話，你生來係咪龍殘暗馬咧？大富大貴啊，因為貧窮下賤啊。嗱呢個係報啦，明嗎？就果同報唔同啊。OK， 哦，今日明啦。嗱果同報唔同啊。OK。或者嗱，我哋生於喺邊度啊？我哋生於中國，嚇有佛法聞到佛法嘅地方。有啲人生於點啊？邊地？嗰個咪佢個報咯，但係佢都係人喎。佢個果係人，但係個報唔同啊，明嗎？啊 ，OK。So effects and retributions are very different, totally different. So you are human being. We are human beings, okay? This is the effect. But the reward and retribution is, yes, we are human beings. Are we born handicapped? Are we born very poor or very wealthy? Or are we born very disabled? Or are we born in a place where we can actually hear the Dharma? Or are we born in a place where there is no Dharma? That is the reward and retribution. It's different than from effects. The effects is you be born as in some realm. And in that realm, what is happening when you're living in that realm? 嗰就係你生於喺嗰個法界，而喺嗰個法界入邊，你如何活喺嗰個法界度活，嗰個係報啦。明啦嘛？明啦嘛？完全唔同嘅嘢嚟嘅喎。你果係生為人，生為人就係果啦。你究竟生為人之後，你個生命究竟係點樣呢？嗰個 quality 啊，嗰個品質究竟係點咧？嗰個就係報啦。明嗎？點解你會偏偏嚟咗呢度呢？呢個係報嚟㗎，呢個係報嚟。點解你有啲屋企人嚟唔到呢度住呢？有啲屋企人喺第二度呢？呢個又係大家不同嘅報，但係大家有同嘅果，都係身為喺我個家庭有一個人，就成為一個人。Okay, you understand the retribution and the reward, the effects are very different. Okay, so the last suchness is the suchness, the complete fundamental coherence. So the first suchness is the suchness of characteristics. So that is the beginning suchness. Together with the ninth suchness, which is the ninth suchness, the reward and the retribution, that's the end. And in between is a complex relationship. And these nine suchness are weaved together in such a complex relationship. And it says it is coherent in that sense because it's interwoven with each other, the relationship. Okay? So, that is what we talked about last night. 呢個就係我哋琴晚講嘅十如是。OK， 咁大家都知道啦，十如是就係講所有一切景象，所有一切法，所有一切存在嘅10種必要嘅條件，係咪啊？即係話宇宙萬物一切，包括你、我、畜生、牛羊、狗馬，甚至冇山河大地、樹林、海等等，佢哋存在，佢都唔能夠離開呢10個條件。Okay. So these 10 necessary conditions, or you can call it qualifications of existence, is the truth of existence, right? It's how we exist, how the forest exists, how animals exist, how the mountains exist, how our relationship exists, how you relate to the universe, how you relate to each other, how you relate to yourself. Okay? So this is the whole qualifications, this is the whole conditions for our existence right here, right now. 十如是好似好淺啊！嗰十句嘢真係好淺咋，係咪啊？好淺，但係你睇到，你慢慢再去深入去思考一下，去觀一下，去照一下，你十如是實在係整個法界所有微妙關係嘅存在嘅原因嚟嘅。It's so simple, this 10 suchness. But yet when you really start to contemplate and start to really dig into it and really contemplate about the relationship between each other of these 10 suchness, you see this is such an amazing truth to tell us the existence in all the Dharma realms. Yeah? Okay? So, So we actually study on this 9 last night. 如是性，如是相，如是性，如是體，如是力，如是作，如是因緣果報。Such characteristics or such form and such nature, such embodiment, such power, such action, such causes, such conditions, such effects, and such reward and retribution. And the last one is 如是本末究竟. So the last one is the such complete fundamental coherence. And as I said just now, 本末究竟，本就係呢個開始，呢個相嚇，末就係呢個報。So complete, what makes it complete? There is the beginning. Such form or such characteristics is the beginning, and such reward and retribution is the end. Okay, so actually, when you look at these 10 suchness, there are actually 9 suchness, right? And the last suchness is actually a summary of the 9 suchness. 實在你睇下呢個10如是，實在只有9如是。最尾個如是係形容呢9個如是嘅關係嚟嘅，係嘛？啊，所以咧就係佢係將佢做咗一個總結，以上嘅9個如是。咁由開始到尾。到結束，就係點啊？就係個根本同埋枝末嘅關係，即係琴晚我講啦，因果、因緣，仲有咩啊？因報。嗱，因果、因同果、因同緣、因同報。嗱，因果，因直頭係可以即刻出果㗎，有因可以即刻出果。咁因緣果咧，有因有緣又可以出果。你可唔可以想像到有啲乜嘢有因就即刻可以出果？嚇？走得快就扭親隻腳。係啦，呢個就真係，因為你走得快，你就即刻扭親隻腳啦。呢個使唔使其他緣喺度啊？唔係一定需要有其他緣，但係你行得慢，而你唔留心嗰個地而有嚿石，而你扭親隻腳，呢個就係有個緣喺度啦。Okay, so for the cause, it could directly go to effects. Or there are cause, and there will be conditions affecting the cause, and there will be effects. So Susanna gave an example. I asked for an example from a cause directly to go to an effect. She said, if you walk fast, you don't pay attention, you twist. 哇！即刻話俾我聽 ，Isn't demonstrating, yeah? Or if you walk slower, you walk slow, and you're not mindful, and there is a stone there, a rock, a piece of rock there, and you kick and you twist. The rock is the condition that causes your twist. Yeah? Or 有因有果，有因即刻出果嘅就係點啊？你一路切水果，點啊？你根本就唔係留意個水果，你就喺邊度去咗邊度啊？去咗出去啦。咁有冇人騷擾你啊？冇人騷擾你㗎，係咪啊？你即刻切到啦，呢個係咪因同果即刻嚟啊 ？So a cause going to the effect is you cut. And you're not paying attention. You're thinking, you're wondering, and then you cut. You get that effect. 但係如果你切緊水果，突然你個孫叫你阿爺，咁咧 然後你就一望咗過去，隻手切咗落去啦。你個孫就係你切親手嘅助緣啦。Okay? So if you're cutting your fruits and somebody call you grandpa, and then you look, and then you cut, then your grandchild is your condition that you cut yourself. Okay? Cutting yourself is the effect. Your grandchild out there is the condition. 所以明嘛 ？Okay? So it's kind of different. Okay? 好啦，因緣、因果、因報。嗱，點解因會有報咧？因為有因，係咪真係一定會有果咧？有因。If there is a cause, is it really that will be an effect? Say yes. 右手。右手喎。I mean right hand. I'm sorry. I expect you to understand Chinese by now. 右手。OK。如果有你哋話有因唔係一定有果嘅，舉咗手。有因未必一定有果㗎。點解啊？點解你舉手啊？但係頭先因可以直接去果嘅喎。唔係樣樣嘢都係咁樣。你咧？如果係樣樣都有，即係有因唔一定有果。如果你嗰個，譬如你個種子，你唔淋水，唔俾陽光，唔俾雨露，佢就唔會。Exactly。有果，有果，而係嗰個因仍然喺度啫。個果就係個因仲係咁嘅，或者個因已經係會壞滅咗，嗰個都係果嚟嘅，係咪？嗰個都係果嚟嘅，係咪啊？嗰個都係果，而係冇某一種因而出現嘅果啫嘛。嗰個都係果，所以一定有個果。There is always a result. There is always an effect. They said if you don't water, even though you have a seed, there will still be the seed will not sprout. You won't bear fruit. No, it doesn't bear fruit. That is also an effect. 明嘛？所以有因必有果，而係個果未必係開花結果個果，係另外一種果，係咪？佢敗壞嘅果，嗰粒種子敗壞咗，都係一個果嚟嘅。即係個助緣。係啦，係啦，明嘛 ？OK， 好 ，good。好啦，如是本末究竟嚇，當一樣嘢佢有運轉嘅時候，佢有變化嘅時候，佢係咪一定有一個開始，一定有個結啊？結尾啊？即係等於我哋個鐘啫嘛，12點我哋叫做開始有一日啦。然後到運轉24個鐘頭，又去翻12點啦，係咪啊？佢咁運轉，佢一定係有一個生滅，一個開始，一個結㗎，啱唔啱先？係啦嘛 ？OK。So do you agree if things are revolving, if things are evolving, there is always a beginning and an end? Why are you looking like this? You don't believe that there is a beginning? It could be an infinite beginning, and it could be an infinite end. Is that why you look so puzzled? Because you think that I'm saying that there is a finite beginning or finite end? No, I'm asking. No, you're thinking too much. 係咪啊？所以呢個佢哋好迷惑啊，因為佢哋覺嗱好得意㗎啦。Then we can see the different culture here. Very different， 真係好得意睇到嘅。佢哋好迷惑，我問佢係咪即係有啲嘢變化嘅時候，你係咪一定有生有滅咧？有開始有未來啊？佢哋好迷惑。佢哋已經覺得我係講嘅係有限嘅未來，有限嘅開始。我係講嘅可以係無限嘅無限嘅開始，無限個過去，亦都無限嘅未來啊！但係你哋冇一個會有咁嘅。冇即係唔會有好似佢哋咁諗法啦，呢個就係文化嘅差異啊。 So you can see the cultural difference 啊 ，thinking process。thinking difference 係好得意嘅，係好唔同嘅，你明嘛？所以每一樣嘢嗰個本同個末啊，就要經過時空嘅變化，佢係一樣變化嘅。So when you experience time and space, the beginning and also the end is also changing, right？ 係咪啊？經過時空嘅時候，個本同個末都係變化，唔同咗噶啦，啱嘛？接受啊嘛嚇 ，OK， 繼續落。好啦，咁所以我哋咧初期，譬如好似我哋咁樣，我哋唔知道初期我哋唔知道地球距離太陽有幾遠㗎，我哋唔知太陽同月球中間有幾遠㗎，係透過點啊？係透過科學家、星學家佢哋點啊？佢哋透過打爛沙盤問到篤，佢研究出嚟。原來地球距離月球有咁遠，月球距離火星有咁遠，咁我哋先至會知道呢樣嘢啫嘛。咁佢係咪查根究底啊？係咪喺個本末嗰度喺度揾答案啦？佢哋係咯，係咪嚇？所以呢個本末你唔好諗住去死咕咕嘅本，死咕咕嘅末啊！係本來存在㗎。你本來存在同本末冇乜關係㗎，而家就係因為我哋唔知本來存在嘅嘢嘅真相啊嘛，所以佛先以一大因緣故而出現呢世話俾我哋聽嘛，成日提醒我哋咁解啫嘛，係咪啊？So for example, when beforehand we would never know the distance between the Earth and the Mars between the Moon and all that, right? But because scientists they really scrupulously wanted to find out. They do a lot of investigation, they do a lot of research, and they ask questions over and over again. They fail, they ask, they fail, they ask, they fail, and they find, they fail, and they research. Eventually, we had the answer, right? And Xiuping said, well, this is the truth of existence. I said, yes, this is the truth of existence. But because we are so stubbornly unknown, we're so stubbornly not knowing this truth, that's why the Buddha came and tell us. This is the one great cause that the Buddha came to tell us. Because we are so stubbornly not knowing. 係咪？我哋太頑固啦，太執着我哋自己嗰種知見啦，所以點解要開佛知見？要視佛知見，要悟佛知見，要入佛知見啊，係咪？ That's why he has to come, he has to teach and open up us and demonstrate to us and allowing us to realize and allowing us to enter how he thinks about the truth of existence. Right. 所以呢個本末究竟就係話我哋係打爛沙盤問到篤。當然我哋問嗰啲唔係我哋有為嘅法，喺呢度係叫我哋問嘅係無為法，即係等於點啊？等於達摩祖師面壁9年做乜嘢啊？佢做咩先？我本來面目，我嘅本來面目係乜嘢？係咪啊？達摩祖師係做呢樣嘢嘛？佢面壁9年，我本來面目係乜嘢？咁佢咪打爛沙盤問到篤啊？佢係啊，不過佢唔係用嘴巴問啫嘛，佢喺個心度一路起議情，一路問，一路起議情，一路問，一路起議情，一路問，一路翻騰，一路翻騰，將呢個我本來嘅面目嘅真相揾翻出嚟。呢個就係本末啦。係咪？從我哋坐喺度嘅時候，我哋個本嗰度，我哋揾到喺個本末嗰度，我哋揾下究竟我點樣出嚟㗎？我而家呢個係末嚟㗎啦嘛。我而家呢個係末嚟㗎，係咪啊？係因為過去個本令到我而家有呢個末啊嘛。我又喺呢個末度揾翻個本喺邊度？我本來面目係點樣嘅？聽得明嘛？麻麻地明咯，係好難明嘅，唔緊要嘅。你繼續讀《法華經》，你就將來會明嘅。Okay, so why the Bodhidharma sat facing the wall for 9 years? Because he wanted to find out, who am I before I was born? What is the real me? So what is the real you? Is you using this existence right now to find out who were you? Where did you come from? That's why in in the Buddha saying is, where do I come from? Where do I go from here? 我哋喺佛教佢最犀利嗰8個字係生從何來，死歸何處？呢個係咪本末究竟啊？呢個就係本末究竟。You see, where do I come from? Where do I go? This is the beginning and the end. 係咪啊？唔係啊？梗係唔係咁樣揾啦。She said, I don't know how to find. I said, of course not like this. 內心揾啊，內心啊，參照啦。OK。所以啦，我哋要明白呢個第10個如是本末究竟咧，即係就話俾我哋聽，實在所有一切嘢都係因緣際會而出現呢個果報啊！實在我哋好多時咧就係唔明呢個因緣際會，亦都我哋以為我哋可以真係操控住呢個因緣際會。你話我哋得唔得操控呢個因緣際會？你可以的咁多，你可以操控，但係大部分嘅你操控唔到嘅，因為點解啊？所有呢啲嘢已經係點啊？深植於喺你自己個識田入邊嘅。你有乜嘢嘅因緣唔係咁而家種嘅？而家你遇到嘅一切嘢嘅因緣唔係而家種嘅。你可能而家種一啲，但係好多嘅點啊？係過往嘅。所以如果你而家呢一生啊遇到有啲咩人同你係有緣嘅話，無論係善緣抑或惡緣，無論係順緣抑或逆緣，唔好講善惡啦，順緣抑或逆緣嘅話，嚇，即係話你而呢一生你而家仲會同佢有呢個緣。咁你話啦，如果你唔圓滿咗呢個緣嘅話，你來生係咪繼續要同呢啲人玩呢？繼唔繼續玩啊？玩幾大都玩啊！所以我話俾你聽咧，真係嘅。所以咧，呢個緣好重要。你唔好以為你走得到啊！天羅地網你走唔甩嘅。你以為走得甩係因為你個妄想執着覺得走得甩嘅咋？願望乜嘢啊？咁你點知你圓唔圓滿呢？但係至少你盡心盡意先啦。啱啱咪譬如 OK， 我講一個故事，譬如當我唔係咒你哋 OK， 當你哋婚姻唔好啦，逆緣啦啩嚇，咁就好啦，又好似覺得對啲仔女唔住。嚇，咁啊死都要維係住嗰個關係。好啦，到啲仔女大咗啦，咁又覺得兩老子老啦，又好似覺得佢走又唔係，我走又唔係，算啦咁啊，大家就喺間屋入邊，咧就係你又唔睬我，我又唔睬你，就用個白板嚟做溝通。我今晚不會來吃飯，你聽朝早餐食乜嘢？我食雞蛋。咁即係你話呢個緣究竟係咩緣呢？咁你話你有冇圓滿到啊？你係實在每一日都係增長緊個不善緣喎，個逆緣喎，係嘛？你話我呢一生 don't worry, I will remember。我呢一生咧一係就斬釘截鐵，大家開心見誠，講清楚佢。喂，我哋兩個咁相處真係好唔掂喎。你覺得點咧？喂，我哋分開手啦，不如真係好似咪再見亦是朋友啦，係咪啊？唔緊要啦，咁大家嘻嘻哈哈，開開心心，照顧好對仔女。仔女嚟你嗰度又咁開心，就去阿爸阿媽嗰邊又係咁開心，翻嚟又會同你講阿爸阿媽嗰邊點，翻去阿爸嗰度講阿媽點，咁阿爸聽到又唔會嬲阿媽，阿媽聽到又唔會嬲阿爸。咁你話嗱，呢啲咪就係處理得好啊？所以呢個緣分咪至少未必係緣，但係滿先啦。至少唔好惡先啦。 但係唔係嘅話，如果你話我點都係憎佢㗎啦，我死閉眼我都唔中意佢㗎啦。我話知佢啊，我而家理得佢啊，我踢埋一邊，我唔睇佢，我同佢一刀兩斷。我話俾你聽，有一刀兩斷。我話俾你聽啊，斷你斷咗呢個啊，你下一個碰翻嚟比呢個仲差啊！因為點解啊？你個緣啊，你呢件事你自己未處理好啊，嗰個緣根本係唔關出邊事，係關你自己入邊事啊！因為你有咁嘅因，你先至會引到呢啲咁嘅緣嚟噶嘛。我最記得啊，我初初寶林嘅時候咧，咁大家師兄弟都夾唔到嘅，真係成日都即係你知啦，我又咁硬又咁威水，人哋又係咁硬又咁威水，嗰個又咁硬又咁威水，咁咁多個咁硬咁威水嘅碰埋，咪大家咪打崩頭咯，係咪？咁終於咧有啲師兄就話離開啦，咁我都以為離開咗第二時會嚟嗰啲就冇咁硬冇咁威水，唔會打崩頭得咁緊要啦。咁點知有兩位老師傅就同我講，佢話：你以為啊？呢個走咗，下一個嚟仲更加甚啊！原來真嘅，真嘅，因為件事唔係出邊嘅事，係自己嘅事。當呢度處理好嘅話，你嚟嘅人唔同嘅，真係唔同嘅。所以如果你覺得對方有啲乜嘢做得唔啱，或者做得令你覺得唔開心嘅話，你睇一下自己。你自己有咁嘅問題，你先會睇到別人有咁嘅問題啊！所以我曾經問師父啊，點樣處理嫉妒呢？師父話：嫉妒係點嘅咧？師父唔知嫉妒係點嘅，所以佢唔識教我點處理嫉妒。咁但係我有嫉妒，我所以要問師父點樣處理嫉妒啊？佢話嫉妒係點嘅咧？我唔知嫉妒係點嘅咧，咁咪點咧？咁咪冇得點咯。I'm talking about 師公，有師公嚇。So 你明嘛？所以呢樣嘢，呢個本末究竟啊，實在係全部關自己事。So where do I start? For the English. Okay. So we all should be aware, any beginning, any end, there is always because of all conditions arising to make it become what it is. If you do not have all those causes in you, you won't have such effects. So the causes, yes, the conditions are right now, right here, but the causes are all from where? When? From the past. Can you change those causes? You can't. But can you change how you react to those causes? Yeah, of course. Because of how different you react with those causes, to those causes, that will bring very different future result. I remember when I first came to Po Lam, so I'm a very strong person, strong-headed, right? And so arrogant. And my siblings are also strong-headed and so arrogant. So all you can imagine, also strong-headed women all come together, everybody is strong-headed, crash, constantly crash. So eventually, they really, some of them, they said they wanted to leave because it's really too difficult here. Physically, it's too difficult, and everything is so difficult. So they were going, and there were two very senior nuns from Taiwan, and they knew, and I was telling them how difficult it was to run Po Lam at that time. And I said, well, some of my seeings are leaving. And they said, don't you become too happy because they leave. I said, why? Because those people who come will be worse than these. I said, why? Because you haven't dealt with it. You haven't dealt with it. And because all those seeds in you are attracting such people to come your way. You see, it's it's really none of people's problem. It's not any but other people's problem. It's not an outside problem. It's your inside problem. So I once asked Sifu, Sifu said, how can I deal with envy? Envy, being envious, jealousy. And you know what he said? 嫉妒是掂嘅咧，嫉妒是掂嘅咧，嫉妒 that means jealousy. So what's jealousy like? I don't know how to explain to him. I said, huh? Sifu, you don't know how jealousy is like? 是咧，嫉妒是掂嘅咧。So it could be also, it could be a 公案 too. It could be a 公案, right? A phrase for you to contemplate. 實在可能係一個公案嚟嘅，俾我參碼頭嘅，嫉妒是乜嘢嚟？But he at that time he asked me, what is jealousy like? I opened up my mouth, I just couldn't say anything. I know there is no jealousy in him. That's why he doesn't know how to deal with it. Or he really doesn't know what is jealousy like. I had jealousy in me, so that's why I asked him. I requested Dharma how to deal with jealousy. So from then on, I tried to actually eradicate those seeds of jealousy in myself. So, okay, so 10 suchness, the such complete fundamental coherence, these are all connected together, and we need to understand through the connection, the relationship, to understand the truth. Now we can look at it from a diagrammatic. Can you see? Okay. Now, the form, the characteristics, 呢個係相啦，係咪？嗱，呢個係性啦，係咪？呢個係大家係互動㗎嚇。好啦，呢個下邊就係個體啊 embodiment 嚇。呢三個就係我哋而家呢個人心身心嘅存在 our body, our physical and our mental, right? So these all come. They have a potential, the power, yeah? And the power, because you have this potential, then you can act. You can take out the actions. 你可以點啊？可以做作，即係好似我琴晚舉高5隻手指，5隻手指本來冇 power 嘅，係咪啊？但係當我個心我話想打人啦，點啊？我會揸起個拳頭 ，right？ Trigger finger. So these 5 fingers, when they are like this, they have no power. But they have potential. When I want to protect myself, to hit somebody, what can I do? I make a fist. That become powerful. That its potential is being reactivated right here. 係咪啊？佢個潛能將個潛能將佢點啊？浮起咗啦，就成為一隻拳頭啦。OK， 咁因為有呢隻拳頭啦，我哋點啊？我哋就可以做作啦。Because of this fist, we can act, right？ 好啦，有呢個 actions that there is actions, then we will plant a cause. That's definite. That's so easy. Remember, the actions is not just for physical. 記住喎，呢個因啊，呢個作啊，唔係淨係喺個身業嚟嘅喎，可以喺個咩啊？口，可以喺個意嗰度喎，係咪啊？身口意度做喎。Okay? So it could be physical, verbal, and mental. Yeah. 好啦，當我哋做咗嘅時候咧，我哋就會點啊？種咗個因啦。When we act, we plant a new seed the moment we act. Actually, before the moment you act, when your mind wants to act, you already plant a seed. 當我哋嘅心想做嘅時候，我哋唔係一定要做咗出嚟先至種咗粒種子嘅。做咗出嚟嗰陣時，已經嗰粒種子係心種㗎啦。但係當個心一起咗呢個念嘅時候咧，已經點啊？種咗粒種子啦。種咗粒種子嘅時候，一加呢個緣咧 ，then when the conditions are there, then there will be what? The effects. So the yin can become an effect, but yin with yun also can become an effect, right? 係咪啊? So the cause can become an effect, just now I explained, but the cause with the yun, with the conditions, it also will bring effects. With such an effect, there will be a reward and retribution. Because I run out of space, that's why I didn't put the retribution there. So 當你有個果嘅時候，你就會有個報啦。即係頭先我講啦，我哋生為人係一個果，但係生為咩人就係一個報啦。Okay? Now we were born as a human being, that is an effect. But what kind of human being, what life do we entertain, enjoy? That is the retribution. Then, you see, these are all connected together. Can you see that now? Good? Easy to understand through this, right? 明嗎？係咪容易明好多啊？嚇 ，OK。嗱呢個咧就係喺《法華經》入邊講嗰個十如是啦。咁實在十如是入邊咧，好得意嘅喎。十如是入邊咧就係我哋每一個人當下我哋個存在嘅條件，但係我哋每一個人咧，每一個眾生存在咧，實在就係叫做一個法界啊嘛，係咪啊？我哋喺個人嘅界入邊，係咪啊？有幾多個界啊？6道，但係10法界。There are how many Dharma realms? No, that's a six realms, but Dharma realms. 10 Dharma realms. OK， 我睇完個十法界，我先再繼續解釋俾大家。So 10 Dharma realms. OK. So there is Buddha, Bodhisattva, Pratyeka Buddha, Shravaka, and God. So these are the higher beings above the human. And then the human, we are right here. Also, Lord, spell it wrong. Asuras, Asuras, okay? And animals or beasts, 餓鬼 hungry ghosts, 地獄。呢個係人以下嘅4法界。咁啦嗱，人天人阿修羅餓鬼畜生餓鬼地獄就叫6道。Okay? The 6th path, the 6 realms you're talking about is the God, the human, and the asuras, and the beast, and hungry ghosts, and the hell. But together with the higher realm, the Buddha and Shravaka, the 4 realms is called 10 Dharma realms. OK， 實在呢個十法界呢，係咪真係喺佛道先至有佛呢？係咪真係喺菩薩道先有菩薩呢？係咪真係喺畜生道先有畜生呢？ So is it really only in the Buddha Dharma realm there are Buddhas? Or in the animals realm, there are only animals in the animals realm? No? Why? 你哋領頭喎，你領頭喎 Why? Why? You shook your head. You don't see them, you don't appear? Okay. All right. What about you, Versha? Yeah, different from all realms. 好啦，頭先邊個喺度？誒？係啊 ，yeah, yeah. So Lydia said, even in human beings, in human realm, there is hell. There's hell realm existing. So that is hell situation in a human realm, right? Okay, so it's not necessarily because you don't see them. Okay, so these 10 Dharma realms, they are also in the Buddha realm. Do you think the other 9 realms can exist when there are Buddha, and then when there is Buddha realm， 當佛道嘅時候，其他9道係咪都會有機會喺度啊？釋迦佛出世嘅時候，印度呢9道喺印度會唔會有呢9道出現啊？ When Sakyamuni Buddha was born 2,600 years ago, do you think the other 9 realms exist too? Of course. Of course. Okay? So it doesn't mean that when there is Buddha realm, then the other 9 realms completely disappear. 所以有佛道嘅時候，並不表示其他9個法界不存在啊。咁就引申到乜嘢咧？引申到一樣嘢，你要睇清楚。So this extrapolate to what? It extrapolate to a very, very serious question, serious issue. 引申到一件好嚴重嘅事，所以點解我哋要學佛就係咁解啦。所以點解《法華經》出現呢世就係咁解啦。啊，我哋睇啦，10法界 10 Dharma realms。我哋頭先睇係10如是 10 suchness。呢個我將佢做咗一個 formula， 一個方程式俾大家容易明白。I made it into a formula so that you can understand。But because this formula, I made it this morning. In this evening, I found a better formula, but I didn't have time to put the formula together. 所以我今晚傍晚諗到一個方程式仲好過今朝諗嘅方程式。不過唔緊要啦，我諗你哋都應該明嘅。嗱，DR 咧就等於法界 ，OK？ 每一個法界入邊有10個法界，係咪啊 ？So DR that means Dharma realm. In any one Dharma realm, the other 9 Dharma realms are existing. There are so constantly there will be 10 Dharma realms in any Dharma realm. Understand that? So there will be 100 Dharma realm in one Dharma realm. No, 1 times 10 is only 10. 10 times 10 is 10. 嗱，一個法界入邊包含咗其餘嗰9個法界，所以每一個法界佢本身已經有10個法界，而10個法界入邊就係10乘10就等於100個法界。聽得明嗎？ You understand this 100 Dharma realm? In one Dharma realm, there will be all 10 Dharma realms in existing. So 10 Dharma realms, there will be 10 times 10 Dharma equals to 100 Dharma realms. This is wrong. This is 1 Dharma realm times 10 times 10. No wonder I made it wrong. Okay, understand now? Yeah. Okay, now there comes the big issue. 嗱，嚟啦，嚴重嘅事件嚟啦。就係100個法界，每一個法界有10個如是，100個法界有1000個如是，大件事啦。每1000個如是入邊，在每一個法界入邊係有1000個如是嘅話，即係話呢個法界如是係咪無止境咁樣伸展出去 ？Now you can understand this in the 100 Dharma realm. 100 Dharma realm. Each Dharma realm is governed by the 10 suchness. So 100 Dharma realm times 10 is 1,000 Dharma realm suchness. Understand? No? Really? No? Understand? But Eva, you understand? Don't worry, I can explain. You understand the first formula? This is wrong, okay? It's 1 times 10 times 10 equals 100. So don't look at that 100. But each Dhamma realm, there are 10 suchness. So with 100 Dhamma realm, with each one of them, there is 10 suchness. Then you will have 1,000 suchness in each 100 Dhamma realm. So For example, every 100 Dharma realm, there will be 1,000 suchness. Can you imagine? Can you imagine? 1 human being, and 10 human beings, and 100 human beings, and 1,000 human beings, and 1 billion human beings. How many suchness in there? Infinite. That's why in the saying it said 100 Dharma realms, 1,000 suchness. 所以點解叫百界千餘就係咁解啊？嚇！實在我哋一生入邊都係喺呢個十如是入邊一路做業嘅循環。換言之，實在喺某一個時刻，我哋每個人心中都有十法界。我哋可能喺嗰個時候係佛，可能係阿修羅，可能係地獄，可能係餓鬼，係咪啊？當你成日發猛憎㗎，成日嬲人嗰陣時，你咪阿修羅啊！當你成日好似食極都唔飽，一味係咁食嘢嘅時候，明知病都食嘅時候，你係咪餓鬼啊？嚇！當你乜嘢都唔知嘅，又唔知醜，又唔知成做牛做馬都好似咁，咪真係好似做牛做馬咁啊？係咪啊？雖然你身為一個人啊，但係你喺嗰個時候，你實在喺個十法界度點樣一路流轉。當你有一個慈悲心嘅，有一個大悲心嘅，咁你嗰陣時係咪菩薩啊？係咪？所以我哋每一個人啊，喺某一個時候，我哋都係有一機會喺呢個十法界度入邊流轉。咁你諗下，十法界入邊每一個法界都有10個如是，咁點搞咧？你話係咪無限咁樣？係無限咁去嘅喎，無限大咁去嘅喎。所以我話我哋要明白啊，當我哋能夠真真正正開始去睇清楚佛陀嘅智慧啊，喺呢個法界同埋如是入邊睇清楚少少嘅話，我哋就好清楚，我哋自己每做一樣嘢，我哋真係要承受我哋呢個因果嘅。Okay, so when you look at this 100 Dharma realms and 1,000 suchness, throughout the whole life, we will start to understand we are actually constantly rolling in any of these 10 Dharma realms anytime. And remember, each Dharma realm is governed by this 10 suchness. So we are constantly rolling in these circles, in the cycles. So at any one time in each of these Dharma realm, if, for example, yes, we are carrying a human body, but if at any one moment of life, at any one moment of time, we are so angry with somebody or with ourselves, and then we wanted to actually raise a wall, then we become asuras. Asuras is like people who wanted to fight, wanted to have a war all the time. We can see it everywhere now, right? Or do we have the compassion and the understanding and the forgiveness and the karuna, all that to actually to embrace others' shortcomings? Then at that time, even though we are carrying a human body, we are in a human body, but we are living in the Bodhisattva Dharma realm. You see, it all depends on us, on our minds. So, we are born as a human being because of the past causes. 我哋因為過往嘅因緣而今生成為一個人。但係當我哋呢個人喺我哋呢個業入邊，我哋究竟點樣去處理我哋呢個生命呢？將來我哋個報就係點樣啦？而家呢個果係一個人嚟嘅，但係我哋每時每刻所做嘅一樣嘢呢，就係我哋將來個報。所以我琴日講呢，你而家係花報係人，你可能花開富貴啊真係。但係如果你話你真係喺花開富貴嘅時候，你唔係做花開富貴應該做嘅嘢呢，你係做個阿修羅做嘅嘢嘅話呢，你將來個報就係地獄啦。 無論你幾富貴，無論你幾有名，無論你出家抑或在家。所以要好清楚呢個因果關係嘅時候，我哋唔會立亂做嘢，唔會立亂諗嘢，唔會立亂行錯，行差一步，唔好立亂隨住自己嘅習氣去。呢個好緊要啊！ So now we are born as a human being because of the past cause. A human being now is a result of the past cause. But how we are living as a human being, we are going to receive those rewards and retributions. As I said yesterday, now, yes, it's the fruit, it's the consequence of the flower. The flower is blooming. But the consequence of not behaving, you cultivating in the negativity, then the retribution and reward will be in hell's realm in the future. So nobody is responsible for your reward and retribution. Nobody can share it with you. You are solely, totally dependent on yourself. 冇人可以同你分享你個報嘅，對唔住。冇人同你分享到你個報，就算諸佛菩薩幾慈悲都唔會同你分享你個報，因為如是因如是果，自己種嘅因自己受個果，200%要自己承擔。Nobody can share, even the Buddha or Bodhisattva. Nobody. OK. 所以啊，喺一個法界入邊啊，一個法界入邊實在已經有100個法界嘅存在。咁你諗下，呢個係無窮無盡咁俾我哋睇到啊！原來我哋存在嘅真相係咁樣嘅。所以你睇下佛陀嘅智慧，佛陀嘅慈悲，佛陀幾大慈悲，可以將一個咁深嘅法嚟教導我哋。我哋真係我哋冇辦法，我哋頓啊！我哋唔夠，我哋下根下氣唔明。但係至少而家我講咗啦，你就知道，我身為人啊，我都要至少都好做一個善人先啦，唔好做個惡人啦。我去唔到做菩薩啦，去唔到做佛，去唔到聲聞緣覺啦，我都做一個善人先啦，唔好下下都生不善念啊。咁至少你能夠開始咁嘅話，最少你都行出一步。一步向住好，向住嗰個方向去啊，係咪啊？所以 that's why okay in this Dharma realm we in this whole teaching of Dharma realms and 10 suchness we start to see the wisdom and the profound teachings of the Buddha, and no wonder why he says so profound and so deep. It's so difficult for us to understand. Because why? Our faculties are not sharp. Our faculties are very dull. 我哋鈍根啊 ，dull 啊 ，very dull. But at least the dullness, yes, our faculties are very dull. But at least now you listen to it. Now you start to understand. Now you started to have a little bit of penetrating power to understand this. At least to understand, then you try to, through that understanding, you try to behave a little bit more on the wholesome side. If you start to behave more on the wholesome side, at least you are walking towards on the wholesome path. We might not be able to dig that deep down, but at least we are walking on the wholesome path. 雖然我哋未能夠去到聲聞緣覺菩薩佛嗰度，但係至少我哋係點解？我哋向緊呢樣嘢先。唔好連向呢樣嘢向唔到啊！有一個咁好嘅因緣生為人而做唔到嗰樣嘢，而去唔到嗰條道，係咪好可惜啊 ？So isn't it very 可惜啫咩 ？Regret? No. 嚇 ？Pity? Pitiful? No. A shame. It's a shame. 可惜 ，really 可惜係咩 ？Yeah, it's kind of you're wasting our time. You're wasting your human life of not pursuing on this path. So no matter how shallow your penetrating power is, don't give it up。無論你嗰個刺穿力，你個明白嘅力有幾淺，都唔好放棄佢啊！唔好放棄佢啊 ！OK， 如果我哋能夠開始明白嘅話，我哋喺到任何一個法界入邊，我哋都希望能夠慢慢越睇越深，越明越多。咁嘅時候，我哋先至真係有機會，真係明心見性啊！So no matter how shallow you can penetrate into each Dharma realm, doesn't matter, even in a human Dharma realm, if we try, I'm sure we will go deeper and wider. And eventually we will be able to reach the other side. But if we don't try, that will be impossible for us to go. Okay? So實在我哋究竟我哋學佛，尤其是譬如我哋讀到一部咁殊勝嘅大乘經典，一個咁妙嘅經，究竟係為乜嘢？就係希望點啊？希望我哋能夠將我哋本能有嘅智慧同埋德能咧，將佢恢復翻出嚟啫嘛。而家好似瞓咗覺咁，冇晒 energy 咁。我哋而家就係點啊？希望透過呢啲法，希望透過明，希望透過觀，希望透過呢個理事理兩邊圓明嘅時候，我哋點啊？我哋能夠將我哋本身有嘅智慧同埋德能咧，冚唪將佢點啊？冚唪唥再翻出嚟，恢復翻去，即係等於死到爛頭啦。咁啊，醫生同你打支強心針，或者撳斷你兩條肋骨，彈翻你個心起身咁，等你又活翻出嚟咁，就係咁解啫嘛。係咪啊？就係我哋要將入邊我哋本身嗰種佛性啊，嗰種智慧、嗰種德能，冚唪唥將佢再恢復翻嚟。So why do we have to practice? Why? Because it's such an auspicious, it's just a rare auspicious opportunity for us to be able to encounter such a Miao Sutra, right? And why? Because this whole thing is allowing us to revitalize ourselves and to review that inner wisdom and to review the inner virtues that we all have. To revitalize. As I gave an analogy, it's like a dying person and you go into an ER, the doctor would, what do you call? 心外復甦啊 CPR, yeah. CPR break a few of your ribs and then revitalize you, then you live again. Right? That's the whole thing. Okay? 所以呢個係究竟嘅道，呢個就係實相。This is the ultimate path and this is the ultimate truth. All right? 嗱，嗰個究竟實相明啦，嗬？So you understand the ultimate truth, sort of. OK. 好啦，《法華經》實在咧係好有無數嘅方便，有種種嘅因緣，有種種嘅譬喻，有種種嘅教法，為我哋呢咁頑劣嘅眾生去講呢個咁微妙嘅法。種種嘅方便法係希望引導我哋去呢個大乘一乘嘅法入邊，所以佢喺我個大版本係第50頁，英文版係page 92 in the English version. With my big book is the page 50, but you don't have it anymore. But I have written it out. So I will on page 92.On the English version, as I'm talking about this, is the many skillful means is what the Lotus Sutra said about what the Buddha was using is many skillful means to lead us into the one main vehicle. Okay? So this若有眾生類藉諸過去佛，若聞法師或持戒忍辱，咁佢究竟用乜嘢嘅方便法啦？嗱，其中呢個就係啦。若有眾生類藉諸過去佛，若聞法師，即係話有人佢講法啦，或持戒忍辱，或者去修道德， 修忍辱波羅蜜，精進禪寺，即係呢個六波羅蜜啊。種種修福慧，如是諸人等皆已成佛道啊！你諗下，你能夠聽藉住過去嘅佛，能夠有人發布施俾你，你去聽得到，你自己或者喺德行上邊、道德上邊持戒，或者修忍辱，又或者好勤力有善嘅將啲善增長，不善嘅將佢快啲磨滅，或者修禪，呢種種嘅六波羅蜜修出嚟嘅福慧，呢啲人皆已成佛道。喺嗰一刻，佢已經係修緊一成法。呢個係方便法嚟㗎。方便法係希望帶領引導大家修呢個法嘅人入到去一成法入邊，呢個係第一個方便。So having been generous, moral, patient and persistent, practice meditation and wisdom and so on, in various ways cultivating merit and virtue, all such people have fulfilled the Buddha way. These are the cultivations of the paramita. The paramita, because you cultivate the paramita, and because of that base being very strong, and when the first one Buddha vehicle appears, you will be easily attracted to it. All right? 好啦，第二個佢話諸佛滅道嘢，諸佛滅道嘢，實在喺呢一品入邊咧。喺方便品入邊咧，講好多呢啲方便法，我只係將其中一啲抽出嚟俾大家去睇睇。佢話諸佛滅道嘢，滅道義供養舍利者，起萬億種塔金銀及玻璃，車渠與馬路，玫瑰琉璃珠，清淨廣嚴飾莊教於諸塔，即係話用種種嘅寶物去點啊？去莊嚴呢個佛塔。或有起石廟，甚至無你唔莊嚴，佢淨係起一間石嘅啫，用石起嘅啫。栴檀及沉水好靚嘅木，木物並如材，即係話好靚嘅木。磚瓦泥土等，或者粗到要用磚瓦泥土等。若於曠野中積土成佛廟，就算喺曠野入邊冇咁靚嘅瓦，冇咁靚嘅木，你淨係用土啫，成佛廟。或者乃至童子，即係細路仔，好似堆沙堆咁樣嚇。如果細路仔喺沙灘度堆沙為佛塔，整一個佛塔，哇！善根深重，如是諸人等皆已成佛道。你睇下，能夠起寺廟，能夠起塔，係皆已成佛道。所以點解起廟功德殊勝行就係咁解，就喺《法華經》度出嚟嘅。So the second slide is this, also on 92 and page 92, the third paragraph, until the last is, when Buddhas have passed away, if anyone is good and gentle, all such living beings have fulfilled the Buddha way. With the 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. The fifth paragraph, with seashell and agate, carnelian, lapis, lazuli, and pearl, these are all very, very precious jewels. To brightly and completely adorn them and dignify each stupa with decorations. And if there are those who build mausoleums of stones, that means monasteries or temples with stone, or of sandalwood and aloes, Hovinia and other wood, these are very famous, very precious wood, or of brick, tile, clay, and so on, very rough materials. And if there are those who heap up earth, even if you don't have all these materials, even you just use earth, in open fields to make a mausoleum for the Buddha, make a house, make a temple for the Buddha, or even little children in their play on the beach, using sand, who gather sand and make it into stupas. All such beings have fulfilled the Buddha way. That's why, you see, these are all skillful means for people to what? To plant a very skillful seed. And you see the merits of being able to help to put up a temple, to put up a monastery. That's why I never ask you people to donate. I don't ask people to donate money because it's your own merits, whether you want to be generous or not. Because it's all your own merit. Because all these merits are going to lead you to what? To the Buddha way. If I ask you, you're not doing it out of your own volition, then I share your merits. At least half come to me. I don't want to 剝削點講啊 take away your merits, so I don't ask. 所以咧我真係諗我咁多年我都未同人講過，喂，你捐錢啦，你捐錢啦，寶林重建啊，你捐啦。你有幾何聽到我講呢句説話？我淨係話我需要錢啫。I only say I need money. I don't ask you to go and donate. 我淨係需要錢啫。點解啊？因為你諗下，細路仔玩泥沙都可以加以成佛道啊！你諗下，如果你真係用心啊，捐1毫子啊，捐1蚊啊，捐100萬啊，或者甚至乎1000萬啊，你諗下，你係行緊向佛道啊，加以成佛道啊！你睇呢個方便法係讓我哋乜嘢？你估真係讓你咁簡單俾你布施啊？而係讓你成佛㗎。You see, these are not just skillful means. These are really means for you to become a Buddha in the future. 第3個 skillful means， 佢話若人散亂心，乃至以一花供養於畫像，漸見無數佛啊！如果你能夠以一朵花咁簡單啊，供養正唔好話一個大佛添啊，淨係一張畫啫。漸見無數佛，你慢慢會見到好多好多佛。或有人禮拜，或復旦合掌啊，或有人拜落佢，或者係只係一個合十，或至舉一手，哇咁，或復小低頭，輕輕咁低頭，以至供養像，或者用乜嘢去供養，漸見無量佛啊！你諗下幾殊勝啊！你話你哋係咪真係福頭福腦啊？係十分福頭福腦，無量福無量福福惱惱啊！你哋So the next is page 94. Page 94, the third paragraph is, if anyone even while distracted with even a single flower makes an offering to a painted image, they will progressively see countless Buddhas. Why? Because at that moment, that mind of offering a flower is so beautiful. It's so beautiful. Okay? And there are those who worship by prostrating themselves, some merely by putting their palms together, others only by raising a hand, wow, like this. And others by a slight nod of the head. That means a respect. All of these honoring images in various ways will progressively see countless Buddhas fulfill the unexcelled way themselves. Can I force you to nod? I can't. Can people force you to nod? No. 我可唔可以逼你耷？可唔可以逼你低頭啊？唔得。牛唔飲水，點撳得牛頭低啊？ In a Chinese saying, it said, if a cattle doesn't want to drink, he won't bend his neck. Is that saying in English like that? What does it say? You can make a horse to water? Yeah. The same, right? So you see, just lowering your head, when you see a Buddha, you lower your head. Is that moment, that respect planted such a strong seed to the future attainment of Buddhahood. 當你喺一見到個佛像嘅時候，嗰種恭敬心，你一低頭，哇！嗰個種子啊，嗰個種子夠晒肥大啦！將來成佛都係靠嗰粒種子啊！將來你見佛都靠嗰粒種子。呢個我最中意嘅。佢話：若人散亂心，入於塔廟中，一稱南無佛，皆已成佛道啊！ This is the verse that I love most among all the skillful means. This is the last paragraph on 94. If anyone, even while distracted, enters a stupor or mausoleum, I don't like this mausoleum, and even once exclaims, "Hail to the Buddha," yeah, or "Namo Buddha." I think it's Namo Buddha, better to hail to the Buddha. They have fulfilled the Buddha way. You see, this 一稱南無佛、南無 Buddha, 南無 that means I take refuge, I seek refuge, I feel safe, I am secure. 南無 that means like this. Not hail, oh, hail Buddha, no like this. No, it's Namo is I feel secure, I feel protected, I take refuge. Like a child being held in the mother's arms, being so safe and so secure, and feeling so protected. That security, you see, can lead, that heart, that mind at that moment can lead you to the Buddha way. 所以若人散亂心，入於塔廟中，一稱南無佛，皆已成佛。將來無論你見到個佛究竟你覺得係莊嚴啊，抑或佢畫得係歪嚟歪稱，唔緊要嘅。我師父話：如果你畫得一尊莊嚴嘅地藏菩薩，呢個世界多一尊莊嚴嘅地藏菩薩；如果你畫得一尊地藏菩薩唔莊嚴嘅，但係呢個世界都仲多咗一尊地藏菩薩。最重要就係有人肯畫。所以最重要就係你肯稱南無佛，呢個重要啊。My 師父 said, if somebody draws a Ksitigarbha Bodhisattva, this world will have one Ksitigarbha Bodhisattva. If another person draws not a very beautiful, not a very beautiful looking good Bodhisattva, Ksitigarbha Bodhisattva, doesn't matter. The world still has an extra Bodhisattva. So it doesn't matter whether it's being drawn beautifully or it's being drawn not very beautifully. It's actually different standards, right? So it all matters is the mind that is drawing that Bodhisattva. Okay? 嗱，真係空白㗎啦，冇嘢啦。Okay, so I think we will end here. I really do have 10 more slides, but it's okay. So 大家都知道呢個係中文嘅網址係可以揾到係同我呢本大經一模一樣嘅鳩摩羅什譯嘅法華經。咁如果大家係想真係睇英文嘅譯本，我勸喻大家真係去花少少錢買呢本經，唔好買呢本英文經。網上面嗰啲我睇過有好幾本，我自己覺得都唔係十分理想。我覺得呢本係最好嘅。Okay, so that is the Chinese version here, and then this is the English edition. If you would like to buy one. Okay. All right. Okay, 我哋回向下 ，we dedicate our merits。願以此功德普及於一切我等與眾生，皆共成佛道。May these blessings extend to all, that we, with all the living beings together, attain the Buddha way. 幾莊嚴，皆已成佛道。Look at the slide. A beautiful stupa, a beautiful meditation hall. Thank you, and see you tomorrow evening.